this
What is
task?
it? Jute ek tak pad gaye. What is it? We we have a way of dislocating different parts of our life. Our prayer is one way, our behavior is another way, our actions are another way, our greed is another way. It's all different. Oh, it's significantly changed because we did not do afforestation. We brought in what is called as tree-based agriculture. So it is all on private land, farmland.
Sadhguru, firstly, it's an honor and beautiful pleasure. I've been asked by numerous family and friends to remember them while I take your blessings. So first I'll seek your blessings before anything else. I want to ask you, at 65, you've taken on this Herculean task of being on the bike. And it mustn't have been easy those 100 days. I have heard कि आपके जूते तक फट गए थे और फिर भी आप इस पूरे दौड़ में थे, लगे हुए थे. You didn't stop your bike. How have you managed this
What
task?
is it? Jute ek tak pad gaye. What is it?
Your shoes had actually probably even torn off if they're coming off
No, it's
in the
just a
100
patch.
days.
It's a patch because of changing gears, especially after coming to India, I must have changed the gear 10,000 times.
How tough was it? And please be honest with us. And how do you manage to keep at it without stopping?
Because stopping happens when you die. When you're alive, you're on. So is it tough? It's not only tough, it's dangerous many times.
Yeah.
Because there's so many unexpected things. If you're just riding for fun, at your own pace, it's different.
Yeah.
You're always trying to keep time, you're trying to get to the events all the time on time. So the distances, and we had to change our route about 3 to 4 times because of the war in Europe, and we ended up doing almost 1700 extra kilometers. So adjusting all this, and our volunteers have such faith in me that in these 100 days, there is not one day for contingency, either for the man or the machine.
Oh my.
So the machine also has not failed, so how can I fail?
Sadhguru, you always had your heart for the environment and for its betterment, and that's where your journey began. If I had to ask you, we are a nation where we pray to our rivers, we pray to the trees, which I think is very few if you look at all over the world, how people actually have reverence for nature. Ours is probably at the highest. Where did we go wrong?
We have a way of dislocating different parts of our life. Our prayer is one way, our behavior is another way, our actions are another way, our greed is another way. It's all different. So, this kind of flexibility is great on one level, at the same time, it is not on another level. But there is also a problem that we have 4% of the world's land and we have 17.6% of the world's population, so we are stepping on everything that is there. Trying to just provide food for this 1.3 billion people is a serious challenge in the country. But we have done well since independence, where our life expectancy of an average Indian was 28 years. Today it's crossing 70 plus, which is a great achievement for a nation. That has happened at a cost, that in trying to provide food for them, in trying to be in a rush, we have caused some damage. I think we can turn it around. We can turn it around, and we should, and we will turn it around, because if we don't do that, there shall be no future for a country of this size and this size of population. There will be serious problems when global food shortages come. India could be one of the biggest hit nations. So we can change that because we have a latitudinal spread from Kanyakumari to Himalayas. The weather and the landscape is such, we can grow just almost anything you want in the world. We have the latitudinal spread for that. So when a nation is like this, according to latitudes, it has maximum latitude. That is a huge blessing, because almost everything that you can do on the planet can be done in your nation. If we turn this soil around, make soil like over 6% organic content, the whole world will want to eat from India.
Wow.
We can make that happen, because we still have nearly 60% of the population who know how to farm. We can turn this around and make this the greatest asset for this country.
Pesticides, I speak on behalf of the farmers and all that we've seen over the years, and people keep putting pesticides or even farming things which are not native to our land.
Why do you think farmer is going on putting pesticide? Because pesticide is expensive, he has to pay money. You think he's just spraying it for no reason? This is all urban understanding of farming. I have no problem with pesticide, this side, that side, I'm only against suicide. Because that is happening, nobody's talking about suicide. Why are we talking about pesticide? Yes, those things need to be controlled, and what sort of pesticides you use has to be transformed. Pesticides which are banned in Europe are being exported to India and various other places. We need to take care of that. We need to turn the pesticide and fertilizer more bio-oriented, which is happening, but it will not happen in any significant way unless there are incentives. So this is what the policy is about. Right now, the entire policy is an incentive-driven policy. For the farmer, there must be incentives. Above all, in another 30 years in this country, nobody may be farming. We have done some survey, not even 2% of the farmers want their children to become farmers. Unless we make it in such a way that a farmer earns as much as a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or whatever drives people towards the city, that benefit should be available in the village. Only then people will stay on the land. That needs to happen. If that has to happen, the most fundamental ingredient is rich soil. Without that, it cannot happen.
I remember you had made a Guinness entry by putting 7 lakh trees or more. I want to ask you, in your journey of being an environmentalist, as you have been, that what are those trees that you've seen grow up and how they've actually changed the environment of a particular place?
Oh, it's significantly changed because we did not do afforestation. We brought in what is called as tree-based agriculture. So it is all on private land, farmland. There are many farmers who have increased their income by 300 to 800%, 3 to 8 times. And soil organic content has come up significantly, and the water tables have come up, the nutritional value of the food has changed. Most important thing is that economic condition has changed, because without that you cannot sustain anything.
Yes.
So, it is about 1,30,000, about 130,000 farmers have taken to this and they have hugely benefited. 130,000 farmers look like a big number. Even if you do 1.3 million, which we are working towards right now in the Kaveri Basin, still it's not a solution. This is why policy is very important. It has to become the policy, it must become the nature, and the way we do farming in the country and in the world, that has to change. That can only change with policy. That's why the Save Soil movement, to get people's support for the policy.
Sadhguru, you moved to all these countries. Just want to ask you, how important and significant is it even in their lands? I mean, considering you've spoken to so many people across the globe.
See, there is not a single nation, not even one nation, where there is minimum organic content of 3%. This is the minimum. The highest is in Northern Europe, which is 1.48%. Southern Europe is 1.1%. United States is 1.25%. India is 0.68%. Africa is 0.3% as a continent, which is a desert. In the last 25 years, the desert lands have increased by 10%. We have lost 10% of the planet's land to desertification in just 25 years. Just imagine, in another 50 years, what will happen.
You went to Dharavi yesterday, I believe it was one of
Today.
Today? It was one of your best receptions you found across. I would love to know your experience.
Well, as we traveled through these 27 nations, in many nations, everybody made their presentations, wonderful, spirited presentations. In some places, very internationally known artists performed. But I should say Dharavi was probably one of the sweetest moments in terms of performance, the way these kids were doing their best to impress everybody there, and the spirit with which it was done It's it was a tender moment there.
Sadhguru, in Mumbai, which is a tree you look at and you feel very happy that this cover is here in Mumbai, because we need to fight pollution at the max almost. Do you find one tree very attractive that's around in the city and you're happy about its presence?
One tree? I think some of the best trees are in the governor's Raj Bhavan.
I've been there with you. I've been there with you. What an honor. I'm so grateful, and I think just the fact that you're using your psychosis of save soil in everyone's mindsets, hopefully this becomes, like you said, every household, every child, every middle-aged person and anyone who is a senior citizen, to take it upon them to do this for us and our future. Thank you, Sadhguru.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Radio City.